First up, Adam and Jamie are getting down and dirty.
You paddling around on the internet again, are we?
Check this out. I just got a myth off of this site.
What?
You'll like this. It's called Dirty versus Clean Car, and it's another fuel efficiency myth. The myth is that a dirty car is more fuel efficient than a clean car because the dirt creates some kind of golf ball-like effect on the surface of the car, somehow making it more aerodynamic and thus more fuel efficient.
That's not bad.
I thought you'd like it.
In these troubled economic times, some people will go to any lengths to make their gas go the extra distance. But could a coating of crud really alter the aerodynamics of your car and give you better fuel efficiency? Well, it's down to the MythBusters to find out if there's any mileage to this theory.
Okay, here's my plan. 2 cars, side by side, one clean, one as dirty as we can make it, and we test our fuel efficiencies against each other.
You know, based on previous experience, we've never been able to find 2 cars that have identical performance. I say we get 1 car and test it both clean and dirty.
And compare the results against each other to see if there's any meat on the bones of this myth.
Exactly.
Let's do it.
So for accuracy, they'll use just 1 car. And this one should do.
I'm sitting on our test platform. This average American 4-door sedan will be what we're testing the clean versus dirty car myth, and it is the only car we are using. I.e., we're gonna do all of our tests using only this car, some of them clean, some of them dirty, and measuring how much fuel it uses for each test.
With the wheels sorted out, the MythBusters hit the road to jumpstart this myth. A myth where accuracy is everything.
This test is all about precisely measuring the amount of fuel used by this car. Now to do that, we bypassed the normal fuel system and installed our own. This is our tank. The fuel comes out the bottom, it goes into the fuel pump and right into the fuel injection system. Now when we get up to 65 miles an hour and we cross the starting line, Adam moves the arrow to the fuel level at that point. When we finish a mile later, he moves the other arrow to where the fuel's at that point. That's how we're measuring the gas consumed.
And with a mile marked out, they can get their hands dirty.
This story is all about whether a dirty car gets better mileage than a clean car. So to do the test, we need a dirty car.
Get down there. Yeah!
They're following that old MythBusters adage that if it's worth doing, it's worth overdoing. Only there's a problem.
This is nice and dirty, but can't see very well from inside.
Well, stop whining and turn on the windshield wipers. I'm using a little-known technique that Jamie used when he trained to be a ninja. When you are faster than the wiper blade, you are ready.
With the dirty car sitting pretty, it's time to find out what its muddy mileage is.
All right, go for it.
Okay.
And just give me a boop when you cross over that start line, okay?
Okay. And boop.
And you're maintaining speed, right?
Exactly at 65.
For consistency, the guys run the dirty car down the track 5 times at a highway speed of 65 miles per hour every time.
3 and 7 8. All right, here we go.
And then Adam converts the inches to miles per gallon.
All right, so we ran this dirty car on a course that was exactly a mile long, every single time at precisely 65 miles per hour, and the results are pretty consistent. Averaged out over all the runs, I'm coming up with a fuel efficiency of exactly 24 miles to the gallon.
Dirty car, 24 miles per gallon, huh?
That's correct. Let's clean it up.
All right.
24 miles per gallon seems reasonable. But now for some good, clean fun. They're getting rid of the grime for the clean car comparison test.
Wow, that really was dirty.
But one shampoo and scrub ain't gonna ditch the dirt.
Let's go through one last time.
6 car washes and some Hyneman buffing later, and the car is spotless. But Jamie's not so sure about the myth.
I'm not much for conventional wisdom, but if the theory is correct, that means all those shiny airplanes and shiny cars zooming around out there missed the boat somehow. I don't think so.
Well, there's only one way to find out.
Everything's ready to go?
Clean car, we're good to go.
Just like last time, the clean car takes 5 trips down the mile-long track.
And boop,
Got it.
boop,
Oh, more data points.
Fill it full of unleaded.
I'm getting to like this drive.
yeah, it's kind of familiar now.
So check this out. Half of our runs were 3 5/8 inches. Half of the runs were at 3 1/2. That means I can do the average in my head. It's 3 9/16. I love consistent data.
And with all that consistent data, it doesn't take Adam long to crunch the numbers.
So the results are in, and here they are. The dirty car got an average of 24 miles to the gallon, while the clean car got an average of 26.4 miles to the gallon. I'm gonna spell it out for you and make it really clear that the clean car did better.
What'd we get?
Clean car's mileage, 26.4 miles to the gallon.
That's better.
A lot better than the dirty one, yeah.
Not looking good for the Myth.
No, it's not. Whoa. Dude! Go!
The MythBusters are testing if you can get more mileage out of a dirty car than a clean one.
Not looking good for the Myth.
No, it's not.
But it looks as though this Myth has already run out of gas.
That didn't work too well.
Nope. Dirty car was far less efficient than the clean car. I don't know what to do.
Well, isn't this Myth about golf ball-like effects on a car?
Yeah.
Well, why don't we have a closer look at golf ball-like effects on a golf ball?
And then see how that might apply to a real car.
Exactly.
I love it. Let's do it.
Okay.
So before they give up on the dirty car myth,
There's a squirrel. Get him.
they're hitting the Moffett Field links in the name of research. And while Adam gets into the swing of things,
Be the ball, right?
Jamie has teed up aerospace engineer Rabbi Mehta for the inside info on golf ball dimples.
Why do golf balls have dimples?
Very simply, because a dimpled golf ball travels further than a smooth one.
Why is that?
As a ball flies through the air, there's a thin layer that forms along the surface, which is called the boundary layer. So if we had a smooth ball, this laminar boundary layer tends to leave the surface at the location of the apex of the ball. This creates a separated region behind the ball, which we call a wake, and that means high drag. Now, if we dimple the ball, then the dimples will make that laminar boundary layer turbulent and thereby make it more energetic. It's able to stay attached to the surface for a longer period, therefore delaying separation, smaller wake, less drag.
So just how much of a difference do those dimples make? To find out, they'll need the perfect swing. Something Adam hasn't quite mastered yet. So for a top-notch drive, the MythBusters have enlisted pro golfer William Lim.
So this is how we're going to do it. We're going to hit one dimpled, one smooth, one dimpled, one smooth. We have a fairly large sample size. We'll get the result and average them.
William alternates between driving the regular and smooth balls.
I claim this golf ball in the name of MythBusters.
The only difference being the dimpling. In every other respect, they're identical.
The smooth one feels like hitting a brick.
I swapped it out when you weren't looking. Yeah.
But it's not all fun and games. The important thing here is the science.
Oh, first of all, William, nice shooting.
Thank you.
These are all really tightly clustered. But you'll notice the smooth balls are all here. Dimpled balls way down that way.
Looks almost twice as far to me.
Yeah, at least. It's clear those dimples make a huge difference.
I'll be darned.
And just how much of a difference?
Smooth balls, 556 feet. Dimpled balls, 893 feet.
That's an average of 37% further for the dimpled balls.
The dimples obviously work. I'd like to have a closer look at why.
Yeah, me too.
So to get a bead on exactly how the simple dimple works, the guys are going to need bigger balls.
We need to have a closer look at the aerodynamics of a golf ball, and to do that, we're going to put it in a wind tunnel. Now, these balls are kind of small to have a nice look at it, so I'm going to take this bowling ball and give it dimples like what are on here to scale. Then we ought to be able to see it clearly.
But while Jamie's going big scale,
Okay, here's the first 360 holes.
Adam's going the opposite way.
So the fact that this effect works so well on a golf ball may mean that it has some application to a full-size automobile, but we're not gonna start dimpling this full-size car just yet. Now we're gonna work in scale, and that's where this polycarbonate car will actually come into play. I'm gonna make 2 castings out of it in resin, one of which I will dimple, one of which I will not, and hopefully in the comparison between those two, I might see some of the improvement that I'm looking for. It's done. It's perfect.
3 hours of drilling holes.
Eventually, the models are ready for their close-up.
Well, we've got some questions about smoothness and dimples, and hopefully here at the Fluid Mechanics Lab at NASA Ames Research Center, we'll find the answers that we're looking for. Hey, Curtis, we got some extra large golf balls for testing.
Fantastic. Why don't we get to work putting these in the wind tunnel?
All right. We already know that the dimpled ball is more aerodynamic than the smooth one, and that translates significantly to distance. The question is why? We want to view the effect that helps it.
Well, you've come to the right place.
All right, bring it on. Start it up.
You can really see the area behind the ball. It's like a bubble.
Yeah, it's really clear how much is happening back in there.
And once both balls have been exposed,
That's pretty cool. I want to see the high speed.
Yeah.
the high speed tells the tale.
Trace the smoke patterns from both the smooth and the dimpled ball, and it's really clear the dimpled ball is making much less of a wake. It's expending less energy dragging that bubble around.
Which is why it'll travel farther.
The chaotic boundary layer on the dimpled ball created a smaller wake, and therefore less drag.
The only question we've now got to answer is, will this effect translate to the shape of the car?
Well, that's a perfect segue to the next sequence.
Almost too perfect.
This thing right here is a water channel, and the water in it is moving about 1 inch a second, which allows us to inject fluorescent dye streams into it so we can have a close look at flow patterns around various objects. Now, given that we're dealing with aerodynamics, why are we using water? Well, because technically water and air are both fluids, and for our purposes, they behave the same way.
Well, that's a good thing, because Adam's already got the smooth car immersed.
Beauty, look at that.
Well, I'll turn on the dye.
All right. Wow, that is so beautiful. So that dead zone behind the car, that's what's slowing it down, right?
Yeah, that's the wake, and the smaller it is, the better off we are as far as mileage.
And once some red dye is added, the static wake is even clearer.
Ah, look at that. That is so cool. It's just sticking there.
But how will the dimpled car compare?
It's a good day to die. Okay, that's interesting. It looks like it starts at the same point on the car, but look at the green lines. They look like they're hugging closer. It looks like that bubble is smaller.
It could be narrower, but to be accurate, we should look at the 2 images side by side.
Well, it's funny you mention that, Jamie, because
Now, through the magic of post-production, I want to show you each of the cars in its water channel tests. Here's the smooth car. Here's the dimpled car. Hold on, I'm going to leave frame so you can see them both as big as possible. Look at that. I don't know about you, but it seems subtle, but still somewhat there, that the dimpled car has a smaller wake. Does that mean that it's more fuel efficient? The only way to tell is for us to go full scale.
but that's not going to be a walk in the park. For that, they'll need to get a little creative. Adam and Jamie are testing if covering a car with dirt could have a golf ball-like effect, reducing drag and improving fuel efficiency. And although the dirt didn't cut it,
The clean car did better.
there could be light at the end of the water tunnel yet.
What do you say to that, man?
Well, there did seem to be a small effect in the water tunnel.
All right, well, you know what that means.
No, what?
Well, if there was a small effect on the small-scale car.
It follows that there would be a big effect on a bigger car.
Right, if we're going to find out whether or not that's true, we need to go full scale with this thing.
I'm there.
But that ain't going to be easy. How exactly do you dimple a full-scale car without ruining it?
So this 1,000 pounds of clay is hopefully our solution to dimpling this car. In order to do that, we need to start by covering the entire body in a perfectly even layer of clay. So we went to the automotive design department of a local design college and conscripted some of the students to assist us in this endeavor. We're going to set up a whole assembly line. Some people are going to be cutting slabs of clay, all the same thickness. Some people are going to be applying it. Some people are going to be smoothing the clay that's already applied. And hopefully, by the end of the day, we're going to have a car that looks just like this, except this color.
Right, well, with the claymation in motion, it won't be long. But why clay?
We decided to use clay on this car because actually dimpling the car is rather difficult. An impact on the sheet metal of the car would make a big cavity rather than just a nice little divot. The divots we can do on the clay, and that'll happen after we do the test with it smooth.
Not only does their ingenious clay cladding allow dimples without dings, it's also giving Jamie ideas.
You know, I always thought if you were smart, you'd make a car entirely out of clay, and then if you had a scratch or a ding, you'd just smooth it out like this.
And that's a whole lot of smoothing. But eventually,
6 guys, 850 pounds of clay, and 6 hours later, you've got a control car.
indeed, but the weight of the clay will likely lower the car's fuel efficiency. So before any dimpling begins, they'll need a new control with its smooth mileage.
Here I am back at the start line of our 1 mile test track. At the other end, I've got a car covered with clay. I'm gonna run it several times down this track smooth, then I'm gonna carve some golf ball-like dimples into its surface and do several more runs. This test ought to answer once and for all whether golf ball-like dimples in a car makes it more fuel efficient.
Great, but this time they're doing things slightly different.
This is going to be our test procedure. We've replaced the window-mounted gas tank with a trunk-mounted fuel cell, which we will weigh before we do the test.
10.056 kilograms of fuel.
We'll get up to 65 miles per hour using our regular fuel tank, and when we hit the start line,
Right here,
we'll switch to the fuel cell. When we cross the finish line,
1 mile later,
we turn off the fuel cell, we weigh it again, and then we determine the miles per gallon by the drop in weight of the fuel cell.
And with that sorted, it's go time for the smooth car.
Hey, you ready to do some driving?
I am.
Let's do it.
Doing good for speed.
Okay, I'm about to switch solenoids once we cross this mark, and bang, we're on the aux tank.
Luckily for the MythBusters,
Seems like it's holding together well.
Yeah.
the clay car is pottery in motion.
All right, hands on the fuel cell.
And after 5 runs, what's the magic mileage number?
9.553 kilograms. 26 miles to the gallon. Exactly the same as the car with no clay on it. I love it. I got a point I want to make because I can hear the complaint that you might have. I can hear it through the TV. You're thinking, how can 800 pounds of clay added to the outside of the car not change its fuel efficiency? But you're thinking about it wrong. See, we're not measuring the overall real-world fuel efficiency of this car. We're measuring it under very precise conditions, i.e. at 65 miles an hour for exactly 1 mile. Now, I grant you, with the clay on the car, it probably burned more fuel to get up to that speed. But that doesn't concern us. We expected to see no change with the clay on, and the data bore that out.
And speaking of boring things out,
We need to make a bunch of dimples all over this car, and you'd think we'd want to have something like a melon baller, but they actually don't work too well on clay. So I came up with my own tool. It's this thing right here. It's a wire that you rotate, and works pretty well. And there you go, dimple.
thanks to Jamie's divot device, the dimples are simple.
This is what this whole episode is about. This is the most fun part of the whole thing.
Fun, but there's a lot of clay to carve.
Oops.
So in true MythBusters form,
A very familiar phrase just rang through my head. What the hell are we doing?
we're compressing thousands of depressions
They kind of get slippery after a while, though.
into only 30 seconds. And the final result?
I don't mean to get all weepy, but dude, this is lovely.
That's one dimpled car. If ever there was a car that looked like a golf ball, this is it, huh?
The dimpled car is an unmistakably MythBusters, unmistakably over-engineered take on the golf ball effect.
I haven't seen anything like that before, anywhere.
All the different ways we discussed how to do this, different tools and different materials, nothing I was thinking about when we first started positing how to do this looked this good.
It looks fantastic.
Yeah.
I can see it now. All the NASCARs are going to be looking like this. What do you think?
Maybe, Jamie, but that all depends on how well it does. Every year, millions of dollars are spent on perfecting the aerodynamics of planes, trains, and automobiles. But has this myth stumbled upon a dirt cheap solution? Well, not so far. But thanks to a car riddled with dimples,
It looks fantastic.
Yeah.
Adam and Jamie have one more dirty trick to try. Remember, it's the dimples on a golf ball that cut down its drag and make it fly further. So by covering the clay with these,
That's one dimpled car. If ever there was a car that looked like a golf ball, this is it.
it might make the car more aerodynamic.
This is by far one of the stranger things we've ever built. And to my mind, actually one of the most beautiful, and not aesthetically either. I mean, to me, the beauty here is that we've taken the phrase golf ball-like effect on the car to the furthest possible point. No one can accuse us of not going far enough. Is this treatment going to translate to better fuel efficiency? I really don't think so.
Adam's got his doubts, but before they test, there's one thing to make clear.
But Adam, I hear you say, you cut out 1,082 dimples worth of clay that significantly lightened the weight of the car, and that might translate to better fuel economy. Ye of little faith. For look here, we have every dimple we've cut out of this car, and into the back. It goes. We thought of everything.
Yep, everything. But will those dimples make a dent in the fuel consumption?
9,450 grams. That's our start weight.
Well, by now you know the drill.
Main tank solenoid is on. Let's go, dimple car! Now! This thing really is lovely.
It looks better from a distance.
You know what's funny? This is absolutely the category of things that work only as long as we need them to work. This thing's just gonna start sloughing whole body parts off any minute now.
But despite 5 runs at 65 miles per hour, the clay catastrophe never comes. So it's over to Adam.
8,972 grams. All right, time to do a little math.
What'd you get?
Okay, so the clean car without any clay on it was 26 miles per gallon and change. The clay car with no dimples was 26 miles per gallon and change. The dimpled car, 29.65 miles to the gallon. There is a golf ball-like effect.
I feel like eating my beret, but I'm not gonna.
That's awesome. We totally didn't expect that result.
If we had to bet, and not being a betting person, I didn't, but if we had to bet, we would have both said, if anything, this would get poorer mileage. Like, you know, we should have gotten something like the dirty car did.
That's the coolest thing ever.
And that result has got both MythBusters boggling. It flies in the face of conventional car wisdom that a smooth, streamlined surface reduces drag. Although the dimples are a long way from the dirty car and its coating of crud, it goes to show a rough surface can more than deliver.
If it works for a golf ball, it ought to work for a car. But somehow I didn't think it was going to be that easy. You can say what you want, though. I mean, the fact is it worked. In fact, it gave us an 11% improvement, and that's significant.
An 11% improvement may be significant, but
It kind of makes you think, doesn't it? I mean, what does it all mean? Where does this leave our original myth?
that a dirty car will get better fuel economy than a clean car. Well, that myth is cleanly busted. But the theory behind that myth, as stated in the original myth, that there is some kind of golf ball-like effect that will help the car get better fuel efficiency, we actually found a golf ball-like effect that helps the car get better fuel efficiency. Strangely, I think we call this one myth busted, concept plausible.
I was pretty impressed how well that worked.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna do it to my car anytime soon.
Well, the clay'd fall off after a while.